Go ahead and answer the question that is on all of us guys' minds. This is so great.
Okay, cool. I can do this.
Okay, great. This is something that every guy in the history of guys is wondering at this moment.
Okay.
What the freak is so great about Taylor Swift that all you women out there want to go to this concert so badly?
Babe,
What?
you
I'm
already know this.
No, I don't actually. I know you like her songs.
No, I don't.
But
Just
there's
there's
a certain obsession with this woman that other women are just like drawn to her. And in like this crazy way to where all of us guys are just like, what is it about Taylor Swift?
Okay, I'll say this much. I think her fans go by the name of Swifties. Look, there's like Beliebers, for Justin Bieber.
Get it?
Okay, so Swifties.
Would you consider yourself a belieber? Or would you just consider
100%.
yourself a Justin Bieber fan?
No, I am a belieber.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm a believer, nor do I consider myself a Swiftie, because I think that's kind of weird to
Thank you.
tag name yourself after a person.
That's borderline religion right there.
Yeah, I think some people take it too far.
Yeah.
But I genuinely love Taylor Swift's music.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the 480 Show. We're excited to have you here. This episode is brought to you by Pit Boss. We're excited to have them as official sponsors of the show. We will talk more about them later in the episode, but for now, make sure to check out pitboss-grills.com to learn more. Again, that is pitboss-grills.com to learn more. All right. I'm excited. This obviously is not my brother. This is my wife. Christian, we'll keep it super real. Christian is at home. He's got a sick baby at home. Him and his wife are taking care of Margot, so prayers out to them. In the meantime, I was debating on whether or not to go solo or to bring on my wife for a special episode. Christian said he supported me either way, and so my wife got the short end of the stick. So I talked you into coming on here. I know you're not just going to offer your voice to everybody, so I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself in 3 lines or less. Tell everybody who you are.
I'm Ashlyn. I'm Camryn's wife, and I take care of our 2 kids all day, and I love ice cream.
You do love ice cream.
That sums me up right there.
That does sum you up pretty good. In an effort to not make you talk too much about yourself, we'll jump straight into the episode. Actually, we'll do a weekly recap. I don't even know what happened this week. I feel like this week was kind of a blur. I got home from vacation last week. And I feel like we've just kind of been like adjusting. Mm-hmm. I got my tooth pulled out.
Yeah, that was probably the most exciting thing. Well, not exciting.
Yeah, speak for yourself. That was not exciting.
I was going to say, Cameron's been a little depressed the last couple days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it is weird. Like, you don't really think about not having a tooth until you don't have a tooth.
Yeah.
And now I feel like I'm living, as I told you, I feel like I'm living in a trailer park. I hate it.
You literally you can't even see it.
No, you can. When I smile big enough, you can, which is why I feel like I've been depressed, because I haven't been able to like smile.
Yeah, you got home from
it's in the
dentist on Tuesday.
Yeah.
And you've said about 3 words for like 2 days.
Stop. It's been tough. I didn't think it would actually bother me at all, but it's proven to be annoying. Annoying in the sense that like it's also like slightly painful. Mm-hmm. But like I literally don't want to like open my mouth far enough for anybody to even have the potential of seeing like it's like literally my largest tooth. Mm-hmm. Be a big old gap in there. Ugh.
Yeah, not to mention the fact that you got done with a 15-hour smoke.
Yeah.
The night before and can't even eat any of the meat. I've been eating it all myself.
Yeah, talk about feeling smoked. Yeah, that actually was. I mean, we'll talk more about that, I guess, a little bit later, but that took a long time. Mm-hmm. 15 hours. Meat didn't turn out exactly how I wanted it to, but it still turned out pretty good.
It was really good.
And, then the next morning, and it turned out, it's annoying because it finished at 9 o'clock. It was done.
At night?
Yeah, I let it render for like an hour and a half, and it was done at like 9.
Mm-hmm.
We had already eaten dinner, so like we took a few bites of it, but then we went to bed. And then the next morning I woke up and I wanted some of it, but I was so nervous about getting my tooth yanked that I didn't even eat anything.
Mm-hmm.
And then I couldn't eat any of it yesterday. I had a little bit of it tonight, but probably not the smartest move. So
Yeah, I've been eating it for lunch and dinner every day since you made it.
Yeah, I'm really jealous of that.
myself.
Honestly, I've just been eating mashed potatoes and
not even the good
packets.
kind. Mashed potato pearls.
Yeah, they're good.
I guarantee you most people don't like those.
Let's take it to the polls. Do you prefer just straight potatoes that you just do it with? Is that how you just mash up real potatoes?
Real mashed potatoes.
Okay.
What a concept.
Mashed potatoes or Idahoan? My Idahoan fan out there.
They're mashed potato pearls. They just add water.
Yeah.
Put it in the microwave.
Idahoan, man.
Nasty.
They're pretty good. I don't know. I had those a lot growing up. I don't know. They seemed a little bit more common back then. Didn't your family do that too?
Yeah, but I didn't eat them.
Because you were too bougie back then too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think the word you're looking for is picky.
Hey, you said that, not me.
Picky because I won't eat nasty fake potatoes.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I have a question for you before we jump into the episode.
I don't like these surprises.
Go ahead and answer the question that is on all of us guys' minds. This is so great.
Okay, cool. I can do this.
Okay, great. This is something that every guy in the history of guys is wondering at this moment.
Okay.
What the freak is so great about Taylor Swift that all you women out there want to go to this concert so badly?
Babe.
What?
You
I'm
already know this.
No, I don't actually. I know you like her songs.
No, I don't.
But
just
there's
like
a certain obsession with this woman that other women are just like drawn to her, and in like this crazy way to where all of us guys are just like, what is it about Taylor Swift?
Okay, I'll say this much. I think her fans go by the name of Swifties. Look, there's like Beliebers, for Justin Bieber.
Get it?
Okay, so Swifties.
Would you consider yourself a Belieber? Or would you just consider
100%.
yourself a Justin Bieber fan?
No, I am a Belieber.
Okay.
I'm just kidding. I don't think I'm a Belieber. Nor do I consider myself a Swiftie because I think that's kind of weird to like...
Thank you.
Tag name yourself after a person.
That's borderline religion right there.
Yeah, I think some people take it too far.
Yeah.
But... I genuinely love Taylor Swift's music. Like, there are several songs out of every single album that I would listen to, and I know the lyrics too. So.
But is it because you're connecting on some crazy deep level, or you just genuinely think she has like a great voice?
I genuinely think she has a great voice, and I think she has great songs. You know this about me. I care more about like the rhythm of a song than the lyrics.
Well, you'll listen to the whole song and you won't even know what the freak they're talking about.
Yeah, because I don't really care about the lyrics, which it's funny because I can memorize lyrics like no one's business.
But you don't even know what it is that you're saying.
No, I just say it.
Do you remember on our second or third date and you played Panda? Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. Panda?
Yeah.
I was like fresh off my mission.
Yeah.
Like fresh. I was feeling holy at the time.
Yeah, and he hands me the aux cord and says, "Okay, like you can play your music." And
keep in mind, I'm going like Kenny Chesney. You know, that was kind of my vibe right off the mish.
All I had was rap.
Yeah.
It wasn't super explicit.
I didn't even know what to do. Well, first, yeah, fair enough. I didn't even know what the freak they were saying. You can't understand any words in that song.
Yeah. Well, neither do I, except for Panda.
Yeah.
And that's not even a really good song. That was just like...
It caught me so off guard. It wasn't even funny.
That was the cleanest song I had. I had some explicit songs.
Yeah.
But most of my songs that I listened to that were super explicit, I did the clean version. But still, because you were like fresh off your mission, I didn't want to play that for you. I think it was when we were leaving In-N-Out. And I thought we were in
Monty's house. Monty's neighborhood.
No, we were driving down the street. We were leaving In-N-Out where you had just like bought 6 missionaries some shakes from In-N-Out. Like, you were fresh. And you're like, "Oh, play your music." And I was like,
You
So
actually felt nervous?
Oh, 100%.
I didn't think you were nervous at all. I thought you just like...
No, babe, I had
very just went
nothing
for
else
it.
to play for.
I thought you were like proud to play that song.
No.
Like I thought you were trying to convert me.
No,
and I was
that
like, I
was
don't
like
think I'm ready for this.
probably my least favorite song on my playlist. That was just the cleanest one I had
That
because
is
like
so funny.
all they say is
Why
Panda.
didn't you just say something?
I was nervous.
You were nervous to tell me that you didn't.
I was nervous
That's
to
so
tell you
sweet.
that I listen to swear words. I don't anymore. I actually cannot stand it.
Yeah.
But
Which is funny because it doesn't offend me as much as it used to. I don't feel like it doesn't offend me, but definitely like a swear word here and there, like it doesn't, I don't know, it doesn't affect me the same way that it did at one point.
well, you need to get more holy.
Yeah, probably should. Okay. One more question before we jump into the topic.
Okay.
What do you think the hardest adjustment was for you from single life to married life? Could be specific to me, could be specific, or could be more like general.
I think just putting up with someone else.
Putting up with me.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to do that when
Yeah.
you're single.
It's
I
true.
feel like I don't know. I feel like I'm so much different than everyone else though. Cuz I'm so much better. No, I didn't have much of a single life. Like I literally hate saying it, but
Yeah.
I got married when I was 18.
Loud and proud, baby.
So I didn't have
You know what's funny is I never call you baby, but whenever I'm in like a jokey mood, like I always be like,
Yeah. That's like our joke to each
Yeah.
other.
yeah. But I want to make it very clear I do not call her baby.
No, that's cringy.
Extremely cringe.
Yeah. But I didn't have much of a single life. So, and the very little single life that I did have, I spent it living with my sister,
Yeah.
helping her take care of her twins. She had just had twin baby girls,
Yeah.
and she had a 2-year-old.
You spent a lot of time over there.
So, and I'm not complaining. I would
Yeah.
not have it any other way. I went to one college party with my other sister.
Didn't you like play board games and stuff? Or like watch a
No.
movie or something?
No,
Or was
were
it like a legit...
those
those
were high school parties.
Yeah.
No, I went to one.
Good old Thatcher high school party. Shout out Thatcher.
Shout out, not Thatcher.
That's so funny.
No, I went to one high school party or
College party.
college party, and not my vibe.
Yeah.
I actually took my sister's son, he was probably 2.5 at the time, to Thatcher, where I grew up, to go visit my dad. And my sister convinced me to go out with her that night. So I left my sister's son in my bed at home with my parents home and stuff.
Okay.
Like everyone was home.
Yeah.
He had gone to sleep.
Did Kaylee know?
I don't know. I don't think she would care. I mean, I put him to bed and everything. Like,
yeah. Okay.
it was fine. I didn't
Yeah.
just leave him home.
Well, you were saying it like it was some sort of like big secret.
No.
Like, man, you're airing this out right here.
No. Anyway, he was at home. She convinced me to go out to a party with her. I want to be clear, like, it wasn't like a drinking party. Not that that matters, but it wasn't like this crazy rager. But it was
Sure.
like a party, you know?
Yeah.
Anyway, you had to like pay to get in. It was at someone's house, but you had to like pay
So
to get in. There was a DJ.
alcohol then.
I guess
I
maybe.
mean, that's essentially why you pay.
Yeah, probably.
I mean, unless you're the college kids up there were wanting to get reimbursed for some lemonade, which I find hard to believe.
Okay, maybe there was alcohol. I have no idea. I did not drink any alcohol.
You were very naive. Back
Oh
then.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Like as naive as it comes.
Yeah. Anyway, left the kid at home, went to the party. There was lots of dancing
Yeah.
and a very small area.
Yeah.
So as you can imagine,
Sweaty bodies.
sweaty bodies close to me, up on me.
Oh, that is so funny. I would actually pay money to like be a fly on the wall and watch you in that situation.
No, is
That would-
not my vibe
Yeah,
at
I
all.
know.
So I can't remember if I left early or not because I rode with my sister, obviously. So I would have had to leave when she wanted to leave. But I just remember being like, I just need to get home to this child. Like,
Yeah.
you know, that was like my mentality back then. Like
Yeah.
I was all about my sister's kids.
Yeah.
And I
were.
I have no regrets,
Yeah.
honestly, because I didn't want to be at the parties.
Yeah.
I didn't have any interest in that. So
Yeah. I remember that was kind of an adjustment for us when we were dating. I thought it was like the cutest thing ever, right? Like all the help that you gave, to our nieces and nephew.
mm-hmm.
But like, even like that during that time, like it was a different adjustment because like I didn't have nieces and nephews like at all.
You didn't have any babies in your life, really?
No, never.
Like not
hardly
even
ever.
close. Even your like youngest cousins were older.
The closest thing to a baby in my life that I had was my youngest brother when I was like 10, and then because we're 8 years apart, and but like I don't remember when Kobe was born or anything. In fact, I've told him and I've told everybody that I have zero memories of him up until I got home from my mission.
Yeah.
So actually, that's not true. One memory of him before my mission, I was trying to, spend time with everybody, and I played catch with him in the lot across the street from my parents' house when the neighborhood was still getting developed. Anyway, that was kind of a little tangent, but I didn't have any babies in my life. There was no kids at all, like at all. I babysat my aunt's kids when they were little, but like again, that's still when I was like 12, 13. So like, no.
Yeah.
I mean, I was 20 when we started dating, so I did not have experience with babies for like 8 years. So that was new, and it was fun to like be in that scenario where like all of a sudden there's like kids. The hard thing was like getting to know them,
Yeah.
and like it's just such a weird like mindset, right? Like we're dating, and like these kids like mean something to you, so like that makes me happy for you. But then there's like this thing in my mind where it's like, well, hang on, like as soon as we get married, they're
yours too.
They're not like my blood, but like he's my nephew.
Yeah.
He's my niece. They're my nieces,
Yeah, that
and
would
like,
be weird.
Yeah, and so for me, and like it's not like I watched them be born, and so it felt like, oh, they're just as much yours. You know what I mean? No, you know what I mean. But like, I wasn't there when like the girls were born, like a month before we started dating.
2 months, yeah.
Yeah, so like it's not like I was far off, but I didn't know them, so a little bit different. That was a little bit of an adjustment. And then when we got married, that was when I felt like we had a little bit of like what would you call that time? Like you spent so much time like babysitting and like around them, you know what I mean? Where it was
I mean, I moved in with Kaylee, my sister. I'm trying to think. It was over a year before we met.
Yeah.
So and obviously her girls were just born like barely before we met. So.
Oh wait, actually, it was that long? I thought it was right after you graduated.
I graduated in May.
Of what? 16?
16. Moved in with her probably around like June, July-ish.
Shoot, yeah, we didn't start dating
until the next year.
No, we started dating in 16. We got married in 17. So it was about 6 months.
Shut up.
Yeah.
I always tell people that I was graduated about a year before I got married. Okay, no, so I hadn't been living with her that long.
Are you sure you didn't graduate in 15?
I'm sure. I graduated in 2016.
Okay.
Anyway.
It probably felt like a long time because you spent, majority of that time watching young babies.
Yeah, pretty much my life was I worked at Dairy Queen. Very, very fitting for me, even though I never even stepped foot into the back where they make the ice cream.
Yeah. Not allowed.
Anyway, I worked at Dairy Queen. I was going to school at night.
Yeah.
For dental assisting, which never turned out to be anything.
Is the dental assistant the one that helps the dentist?
Yeah.
You with just like handing the tools and stuff? So the hygienists are the cleaners. They're the ones that like manage all the cleanings. Okay.
That's like a lot more schooling.
I'll say this, in just getting my tooth pulled, I had my eyes open, right? I was watching. They exchanged 0 words the entire time.
No, you literally have to like...
It was a freaking dance, dude.
Yeah.
She knew exactly what he needed at every second. It was the strangest thing of my whole life.
I will say, when I did my little internship, I had an encounter with a dentist. I had been working there for only a few days before I finally got thrown into just a typical like filling procedure where I had to like be the assistant, and I killed it.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, freak, yeah.
I know. I got so nervous to like...
Your anxiety was pretty spiked at that time.
Yeah, so I called it quits.
Dropped it.
I kind of regret that, but whatever. Anyway, my life at the time was working, school, and then I would come home. My sister's girls spent I don't know how much time, but a little while in the NICU. So we were there. We'd drive back and forth together, and we'd go visit the NICU together.
Always with ice cream or some sort of snacky snack.
the Dairy Queen frappes.
Oh, yeah.
Those were so good.
Some good times.
Anyway, and then when they got home, I spent a lot of time helping her in the middle of the nights, feedings and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when I started dating Camryn, it was like I mean, it didn't feel hard because I obviously love spending time with you, but squeezing another thing in there in that busy schedule. Like sometimes we'd get home at like 2 or 3 a.m. I'd walk in the door, I'd hear the babies crying, and I was like, oh, I'm tired.
See, that's why you're a much better person than me.
I felt so bad.
Because at that time, I would have been like, it's on you.
I know, but my sister was up there trying to take care of 2 babies.
Yeah.
And she was sleep deprived, and I felt bad. So.
Hey, I said it. You're a better person than I. So you think that was your hardest adjustment then? Or that
no,
was my hardest adjustment.
Yeah, my hardest adjustment was trying to deal with someone else.
Yeah.
I'm like an independent person, but at the same time very much not. I don't know how to explain it.
You
like,
are.
I like things done my way because I feel like I do everything right.
Yeah.
So it makes it hard living with someone else.
Yeah. Especially because I actually am the one that does everything right. So
yeah, we both have that personality trait.
Yeah. It's great. It makes for good times.
Mm-hmm.
Although it's so funny because like you'd think that with 2 strong-willed, like stubborn-headed people, you'd think that we would just be like throwing bricks at each other all day.
I know.
And we just like don't. I mean, obviously we fight. I think we fight like, you know, about the dumb things like most couples do.
Yeah.
But we don't fight all that much. And like when we do fight, it's not like, I don't know. I feel like there's been like 2 times where we've slightly raised our voices, 3 times maybe where we've slightly raised our voices.
Yeah.
But like even that, like we had a conversation afterward and we're like, we can't do that. Like, I don't know, it just like offended us deeply.
Well, yeah, it feels so wrong.
Yeah.
Oh, it feels horrible.
Good times. Okay, this is the real topic. So, topic today is change that comes with being a parent. Okay, so like we've kind of already talked a little bit about like being like married, like things that are like kind of hard to like adjust to, like being single and, you know, being married and stuff like that. Being married and then having kids, I feel like our lives have been so different in like a lot of ways. Would you agree?
I don't know.
You don't think so?
I mean, I feel like there was
This is like shocking to me.
I don't
didn't
feel like
think
there
you
was
would have said that in a million years.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I feel like there wasn't that much of a difference going from just 2 married people to having 1 kid. Like, I feel like when Carter came into our life, things were relatively the same.
Really? I
feel like had you said like pre-pregnancy to having a baby, but I feel like pregnancy really, our life
like set the stage.
Our life toned down a lot. Like we were going out a lot with our couple friends, staying out super late.
Yeah.
But my pregnancy was just so horrible. Like I feel like it almost just caused us to stay in, go to bed early. Like, you know. So when I think about adding Carter into the mix, I don't feel like our life felt like it changed all that much.
Fair enough.
Probably specifically for me, because I continued working after having Carter. I worked a lot less, but I still worked.
Yeah. And
that's when I started doing photography too.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I feel like so many things changed like outside of Carter. So like, and that's a good point. I didn't really think about that, but you're right. As soon as you got pregnant, I feel like we didn't hang out nearly as much with like our couple friends. Mm-hmm. Like that actually kind of like came to an end.
Yeah.
I mean, you have like pretty terrible pregnancies. So
not
like,
because of us. Well, I just don't want people to think that like I got pregnant and then we just like banned them.
Fair enough.
It wasn't like that.
Yeah, some stuff happened, and so the couple friends that we hung out with the most kind of just like tapered off. I don't know how much we should probably leave it at that.
I was gonna say I don't really have anything else to say about it.
No, I know. I just don't want.
There was drama, but it's not drama anymore. Like, there's no hard feelings or anything.
Okay. I didn't even want to say drama. I didn't know how that ended. I can't remember.
No, I mean, it was drama.
I know you guys talked about it, but I don't remember how it ended. Yeah,
we've hung out with them since. We haven't hung out with them in a while, but...
Yeah, so fair enough. There was some drama. It stopped. It just happened to be, like, right as you got pregnant. Like, we were on a trip with them.
Yeah.
in New York.
I found
when
out.
You found out.
Well, I found out I was pregnant the day we got home, but
like you almost like knew when you were in New York.
Yeah.
But regardless, and that's so funny too, because we were talking about. Remember, we were about to get either it was between a golden retriever, and like we were about to get a golden retriever. Remember that? And you were like,
no.
Remember, we were in that gift shop in New York, and I was messaging that lady, and she's like, yeah, like you can put the deposit down, and I was like, let's freaking go, baby. We can get a freaking dog when we get back.
The worst decision we could have made for our life.
For one, we didn't.
Highly allergic to dogs. Where were we gonna
put that dog? We didn't have even the ability to house it because we were.
Yeah, we were living in a one-bedroom casita that allowed no dogs, and we saw our homeowners every single day. Yeah, they would have known.
Also, you're allergic to dogs.
Badly allergic.
And we had a baby that was allergic to dogs. Yeah. So that would have been a terrible thing. But you brought up to me when we were in the gift shop. You're like, babe, we might have a baby. Like I might be pregnant. Like I don't know, but like we might be pregnant. What happens then? Right? Like we have hospital bills, and I'm like, I remember being slightly upset because I'm like, I want a freaking dog. Yeah. And we'd been waiting. We were on the wait list, and that just happened to be right then. Mm-hmm. Anyway, that kind of fizzled out. Mm-hmm. Like right as we got home and stuff, there was some drama. And so, yeah, I didn't really think about that. But I feel like our lives changed a lot because right as Carter was being born, I was enrolling in school. Mm-hmm. You started doing photography. I was still working full-time, and you were working part-time. And then we had this baby. Mm-hmm. And luckily for us, he was like the easiest of easiest babies. Like truly just like an angel baby sent from above. And really had like, he gave us no reason to like.
I mean, this kid slept through the night.
Literally.
Day one.
Well, he would have if we didn't have to wake him up.
Yeah, but when he could start sleeping through the night, like when he gained his birth weight back.
Yeah. In fact, he wanted to sleep through the night so badly at day one. We had the struggle of our lives waking this kid up. Yeah. Just to feed him so he could hit his birth weight. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, that was...
he slept through the night.
He took his naps.
He took great naps.
Barely
I had
cried.
So much time on my hands.
The only time he ever really cried was like 5 minutes leading up to like feeding time.
Well, that's not true. He cried a lot when you were gone. When he was teething. Yeah. Like starting at 4 months. I mean, that was still like... It's just to be expected, I feel like.
So, I don't think that, like, he came in and, like, disrupted everything. I feel like life in general got busy. Maybe that's why I think that, like, life got harder when we had Carter.
There was some other things, like school.
Yeah, school was a big deal. I was enrolled in 5 classes at night.
Yeah, you'd come home from work. A lot of times it was, you'd, like, literally run through the door. Yeah. Jump in the shower, grab your plate of food that was on the counter, kiss me goodbye, and run out the door. Yeah. And you'd be gone for the night.
That sucks so bad.
And we had 1 car, so I couldn't leave the house.
What a stupid freaking waste of time, man.
Mm-hmm. It's a good thing you only made it 1.5 semesters.
1.5 semesters. College, baby. Let's go. GCU, baby.
GCU?
Why did I say GCU?
I don't know.
CGCC.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like life got really busy. Maybe that's why I thought that it was so much of a different.
Yeah, life got busy, but I don't feel like it had anything to do with Carter.
You're right.
Because he was such a good baby. Like, we brought him with us everywhere we went. Like, date nights. Like, just, I mean, everywhere.
Do you remember how hard it was, though, to bring him around places because of the parking situation at our apartment? Yeah. We had to carry that freaking, and by we, I mean I had to carry that thing. When we were together, I had to carry that thing. Dude.
There was no assigned parking at our apartment unless you wanted to pay for a shaded spot, which was like $35 a month, which I guess wasn't that much, but no, $35 for a parking spot.
We were pretty broke at the time, though.
Yeah, so sometimes we were parking literally across the apartments, walking so far.
Literally so far.
Gunshots and all. It was not actually that ghetto, but under time. No, under
twice.
Yes, twice.
One was way too
close. I will
close.
never forget that lady. Yeah. Running up the stairs. Yeah. No. I'm talking about the time before.
Bro, that was funny.
Yeah. Sorry, and we literally booked it. Ugh, I hate that. We booked it up the stairs. Literally Carter's head just banging around in the car seat because you were running up the stairs so fast.
Yeah, there was like what was that dude? Just like, he was like,
there was a shooting like across the street from our apartment.
yeah, like the shopping center or whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like a shooting. Like,
No, it was just like
injured.
shots fired in the air.
Yeah, this crazy dude was just walking around with a gun.
No, I think he was trying to rob a store over there or something.
Was he?
I think so.
I don't know. Crazy
Still
in its own right. But
scary, but then there was a shooting.
that was funny, though. That girl started booking it in front of us.
Yeah. I don't blame her, though. I was scared, too.
I was scared, too. But remember,
You hear
she
shots
started
fired and
she started
run.
running, but she was laughing at the same time. We all were laughing because we were like,
Yeah.
this is not happening.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that other time was not very funny at all.
No, it wasn't.
That was pretty bad. I don't even really want to talk about it, but
Yeah, it's kind of a touchy subject.
there was a guy that lived right below us and one door to the right that took his own life.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
it was like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, we were sitting at the table. I was doing homework.
Yeah, working on homework, and all of a sudden we just hear a
we
gunshot.
Heard one shot.
And we both like kind of looked at each other, and we were like, did we just hear that? Like, what the heck?
Yeah, but like in my head, I'm like, that was so close. That was like a firework right above the building.
Yeah.
That was my thought.
But then we heard this woman just scream. Like, I feel like I will never get that scream out of my head.
No, I can hear it.
It was terrifying.
Yeah.
She was screaming, like, help me, help me. Like,
why would you do this?
gosh.
Why would you do that to us? You
so
know,
what does my husband do? He walks outside. We had no idea what was going on. No, you didn't.
She said, why would you do this to us?
Okay, but
I mean, what else are you to expect? Like,
still.
That line right there told me that lady was like,
you
in
walk
distress.
outside. I literally was like, Camryn, what are you doing? Don't go outside. And you're like, I'm just going to go see what's going on.
I said I was going to go help her.
Yeah, which I was like, get your butt back in here. Like,
yeah,
I'm so sorry to whoever's going through something.
Yeah,
but
you did threaten me.
Well, I mean, we had our, 4-month-old sleeping in the other room.
He was going to be all right. Because I knew what happened.
Either way.
Yeah.
You didn't know.
I did know.
You just happened to be right.
I was... Okay. So that was not a big change then with Carter.
Mm-hmm.
How, like, I guess for you as an individual, as he's gotten older, and now we have 2 kids, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, we were just listening to this podcast, right? What is their podcast called?
The Unplanned Podcast.
The Unplanned Podcast. They were talking about how, they like long for their vacations and their alone time,
Mm-hmm.
and then like Lauren and Ari were like, oh yeah, but like, the longer you're in it, like
mm-hmm.
the less you like long for that, and like the better your life becomes,
mm-hmm.
right? I don't know that I could have said it any better than that, because like obviously things are like so different, but like it is like the best thing ever.
I don't think you were very clear. The point they were making was when you first are entering parenthood, you often like think about what your life was before.
Yeah,
and
like
sometimes
you long for your freedom,
for the freedom and the time away and things
trips,
like that.
Yeah.
You obviously love your kids no matter what, and you like wouldn't change your life, but I feel like we both kind of went through that where we thought about it a lot before. Like, man, like we had so much time and we could do whatever we want. But
I feel like that's part of the like adjustment process though.
Oh yeah, everyone goes through it.
Yeah, and like Carter, like you said, like wasn't a hard baby, but like
mm-hmm.
there still were things that like we weren't doing,
mm-hmm.
and like it was easy for me to just like reference, like we were just removed from hanging out with like couple friends,
mm-hmm.
like we were doing that like most weekends, and then you got pregnant, and then we had Carter, and I feel like that part of our life was just kind of like the idea that we would have like, and I even remember like going to church and stuff like that. We wanted couple friends so bad,
mm-hmm.
and like it was just like a different ward, like
it's just, I feel like it was just an older ward.
Yeah, but like we didn't have like those friendships that we had, and I feel like we longed for it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like now, like we do have like couple friends in our ward now, and I feel like we're a little bit more established. Mm-hmm. You have more friends than I do.
I was gonna say couple friends. What are you even talking about?
Yeah,
you won't talk to any of my friends' husbands.
I do too. Don't say that. Colin, what's up?
He's gonna be like, who's that?
No. Look, there's no secret. You're a little bit more social
mm-hmm.
as of late than I am.
Yeah.
And it's not even like I'm antisocial. I just like prefer to stay in my shell a little bit, Anyway, I feel like the change came from like going from hanging out with a couple friends to like not. And I feel like that was kind of a hard adjustment.
Mm-hmm.
At least for me, it was.
Like Yeah. But again, like when I think back to that time, the change came from school and work, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess it wasn't even because of Carter. But,
You
like,
know?
he got older, and there were
Yeah.
certain things, like, he had a bedtime, you know?
Yeah.
And it was, like, even if we had a couple
That's
friends,
not true.
like,
He didn't have a bedtime.
he should have had a bedtime.
But he didn't.
He did.
Pretty much
I mean,
at that time, your parents, I feel like, became our best friends.
That's true.
Which most people would cringe at that, but I look back, I really enjoy that time.
Yeah.
We spent a lot of time with your parents over at their house.
Yeah.
Mainly because that was Carter's grandparents.
Yeah.
But I feel like we also benefited from that too. Just
Yeah.
hanging around family. And
it was just a different time in our life, too, because
Mm-hmm.
we were living further away from family. Like, that was the furthest I had ever lived away from family.
20 minutes.
20 minutes.
That was a long 20-minute drive.
It actually was. That was so annoying.
Yeah, I would fall asleep every night when we would drive home.
Yeah.
Not every night, but when we went there.
And I don't know. I feel like the ward that we were going to wasn't like, it's not like we weren't like super well welcomed or anything. I just didn't feel particularly connected to that ward.
Yeah.
So like I felt like I was longing for some sort of like connection outside of you and Carter. You know what I mean? And I feel like, yeah, we did. We relied on my parents a lot for like that, like outside connection, you know, because I didn't particularly love my coworkers either.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't love them.
You
but
just
like,
didn't have a job that like allowed you to be very
yeah,
social.
I worked at a
yourself.
pest control company with a bunch of other like lonely guys, you know.
Yeah. I feel like the real change came when Beckham came. Going
Really?
from
That's what I feel like it was
going
less of a
from
change.
1 to 2, in my opinion, was extremely more difficult than going from 0 to 1.
Well, you also went from working to not working with Beckham.
Which is
And
really hard for me.
I bet that has something to contribute to the change as well. Similar to like how I felt like Carter kind of like shook our world up.
Yeah.
When in reality, he was probably the least like time consuming part of the puzzle, piece of the puzzle. I'd say that was probably more of a change for you than Beckham
That's
was
true.
himself.
Yeah.
But Beckham was also a harder baby.
Yeah,
Much harder baby.
Beckham was really hard and really needy
Yeah.
and fussy.
We actually had to sleep
Honestly,
train that dude.
I don't know. I feel bad saying that. He was more difficult than Carter.
Yeah.
But like when you compare the two, you have a baby who like was an angel versus a baby who like actually needed a mom, who needed parents.
Carter needed parents. He couldn't take care of himself.
I know, but
I feel like the change or like the jump from 1 to 2 was so much easier for me than 0 to 1. Because even though I wasn't even really like home a lot for Carter's like young part of his life, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. But the idea that we had somebody there, somewhere in the back of my mind was like, even if I wanted to go do something, we couldn't.
yeah.
Even if we had a couple friends, we couldn't hang out with them as much. You know what I mean? And so, like, for me, it was like that mindset of going from I didn't have as much responsibility before. So now, like, I have responsibility. So it's like, I just have to get used to the idea of, like, Carter is, like, the priority. You know what I mean? And, like, even if that messes with my desires, like, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah.
Because Carter's a priority. I feel like once I got over that hump, adding a second one was like, well, I already get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I feel like I had a lot of anxiety with Carter when he was a baby that I didn't really even realize I had.
Yeah.
Like when I tell people this, they like freak out. From the time Carter was born to the time he was like, 3 years old, 3.5 even maybe. I left the house by myself with just me and Carter like 3 times. Like literally.
Yeah.
I remember one of those times was he was out of diapers and he needed a diaper change. And it was like several hours before you were going to be home.
Yeah.
Like I had no choice. I had to.
Yeah.
I just had so much anxiety that something bad was going to happen or, you know. And so I didn't like going to the store by myself. So I didn't get out and do anything.
Yeah.
And that's why I needed to work with Carter because I wasn't going to get out of my house by myself. But when Carter got a little bit older, a lot of that went away for me. And so we would go out all the time.
Yeah.
We'd go on dates all the time to go get lunch. We'd go to Target.
I was so jealous of you.
We'd hang
during
out
that
with
time.
my sister and her kids. Like, we would do things all the time. And so then when Beckham was introduced, it's not like all that anxiety came back. It just was a lot harder to go out with 2 kids.
Yeah.
And Beckham, I breastfed Beckham. So there was that whole schedule.
Yeah.
And that's just a stressful thing,
That
especially in the beginning. Your baby's eating
a great
like
thing, but man, is
between
it annoying.
every hour to every 3 hours, and like it's hard to like breastfeed in public because of like the whole covering up thing, and
yeah, cover
it's
up,
just stressful.
ladies.
Okay, screw you.
No. Stop.
I know.
You and I agree
agree
on that.
I agree. But yeah, it was stressful going out. So I went from like not going out to like feeling like I had all this like newfound freedom, and then kind of feeling like I got pushed back in.
Yeah.
And then I didn't work too.
Yeah.
Which was hard for me, but ultimately the best decision for me.
Yeah.
And for our kids. So I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like that's why it made it a little bit harder for me. I feel like I should explain a little bit. I don't want to get into details because it wasn't anything too crazy, but me and Kaylee, my sister, we did get followed through Walmart.
Yeah.
And got approached by a couple guys who were like legit following us through Walmart.
Yeah.
And that was before I had kids, but that experience like seriously scarred me. Like I was genuinely paranoid.
Yeah. Since then, we've kind of realized there's plenty of things that you can do to like avoid like if you act, because like you knew you were getting followed, right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it's as simple as asking a male worker to like walk out with you.
Well, yeah,
you know
that's what we did.
Yeah.
Like it was a real situation. I have no
exactly.
doubt, but
yeah,
I was super paranoid, and I still have like I don't have anxiety when I go out, but I'm like very, very cautious when I go out, especially by myself with my kids, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You just have to be now.
It's the world that we live in nowadays.
But it wasn't just this like crippling anxiety 24/7. I just specifically that going out by myself with my baby.
Also, I feel like a lot
paranoid.
of like new parents go through that too, because like
yeah,
you would
especially
even told
moms. Honestly,
Yeah.
even just leaving the house with your child is kind of a chore.
Yeah.
Especially when they're young. You got to have the diaper bag. You got to have everything packed. Getting the kid in and out of the car. It was the summer in Arizona. It's hot. Like
No covered parking.
you know.
Parking on the other side of the apartment.
And then it's just like, if I'm going grocery shopping, like I would have to take Carter up to the apartment, and then I'd have to
Yeah.
leave him in his car seat while I took 2 or 3 trips getting groceries. Like it just,
Yeah.
you know.
It was a struggle.
But mostly I was paranoid.
Yeah. And then you got over it, and you spent a lot of time out with Carter.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like you really like started to like appreciate life. You know what I mean?
Our relationship was always good, but mine and Carter's relationship seriously like blossomed.
Yeah.
When we started like doing things
For
together.
sure. Yeah. And then you are right. You got pregnant again, and your sickness with pregnancy is just honestly like off the wall difficult. And so that kind of like, you know, I don't know. It was pretty tough. After like postpartum stuff in general is always like a struggle with everybody. I don't feel like anybody makes it out without something. I don't know. Am I wrong in saying that? Like, I'd say a majority of women have. I'm not saying like it's always postpartum depression or anxiety or whatever, but like your hormones are like out of whack.
Yeah, my hormones were with. I feel like I had a lot of like postpartum anxiety with Carter.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I had anything with Beckham. I was on like the high of my life.
That's true. You were on such a high.
I felt like I had never been happier. So for you, I remember there was a point where you'd come to me and you'd be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay?" And I'm like, "I'm totally fine."
Yeah.
I just had kind of come down from that high a little bit.
Yeah.
But like I was totally fine.
Yeah.
Postpartum just sucks because your body hurts.
Yeah.
And you can't like I remember coming home from the hospital, I couldn't sit down
Yeah.
at our kitchen table.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And then
sure.
like the breastfeeding, the sleepless nights.
Yeah.
You know, and there is still emotions. Like I would just like randomly start crying, you know, and then I'd be fine.
Yeah.
But I feel like that happens to everyone. I don't feel like that has to be classified as like depression
But that's
or anything.
I feel like for me that's one of the harder parts. It's because like you were on such a high of high, and like I remember thinking like, man, this is great. Like it's so awesome. But like in the back of my head somewhere was like,
she's gonna come crashing
something's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Because this is like bizarre.
Which
because
I remember.
It was not like that with Carter.
I remember feeling like the moment when that high kind of like came to an end.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, oh, I'm like so sad and depressed.
Yeah.
It was just like I just felt normal.
Yeah. And I remember thinking like, oh man, there it is.
Yeah, because I remember you were asking me all the time. You're like, "Are you okay? Like, you can talk to me if you need to." And I'm like, "Babe, I'm
well,
fine.
You hear the stories.
No,
you know,
I get it.
It's
and
crazy.
It's sweet. I'm glad that you ask and like care. But
yeah.
I remember trying to be like convincing, like, no, I'm really fine.
Yeah.
Like,
you had to do some convincing because I did not believe you.
Yeah.
But Beckham came along. I was actually like so excited for Beckham too, because we were right on the verge of like going full time with videography.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember thinking with Beckham, like, if I quit my job, like, there's a high chance that you could quit your job. And I felt like we were, like, right on the cusp of, like, the dream, you know?
Your dream.
My dream.
Which I support 100%, but...
Not from the beginning, but different story. Okay. Different podcast. Different podcast. Different podcast.
No, I didn't support your dog training business, but...
Ho ho! Yeah. But I don't know. With Beckham, it was so different. Like, I was more excited. Maybe it was just, like, internally I was excited. But I feel like with Beckham, like, it was not hard for me.
I was
at all.
Terrified to have 2 kids.
The hardest part was freaking sleeping. The kid didn't sleep.
See, that didn't bother me.
It bothered me.
I know.
And every really time I said, let's sleep train this kid. And you'd say, no, I'm breastfeeding. I'd say,
go sleep on the couch.
Yeah, I didn't want to sleep on the couch. That wouldn't have been good for the marriage. I don't know.
We could just do what Matt and Abby did, the podcast we're listening to. We could have a sleep divorce.
I very much disagree with that.
Yeah, I do too. Anyway, we ended up sleep training. Yeah. All is well.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't think it was very difficult with Beckham. Honestly, the hardest part is like managing. The hardest part for me was like managing, like, I didn't want Carter to see that I was like enjoying my time with Beckham. Mm-hmm. Like, I had this internal fear that like, okay, if I'm playing with Beckham and Carter sees me smiling, I need to like also give Carter some love. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like,
see, but now like when we're together, you would always play with Carter while I was taking care of Beckham, usually feeding him. Yeah. Because I spent most of my time doing that.
For sure.
But when you were at work, because there was a month that you worked while Beckham was born, like out of the house. Yeah. And that was really difficult. Because Beckham was just a needy baby. Yeah. And he ate a lot. I feel like he was going through growth spurts like every 2 days. And I was just like glued to the couch. Yeah. So not only did I feel guilty because most of the time Carter was just watching TV. Because he was at a point in his life where he wanted someone to play with him 24/7. For sure. Like he was constantly asking me like, Mom, can you play with me? Mom, can you play with me? And every time it was like, no, I'm feeding the baby. No, I'm pumping. Like, no, I have to go clean this bottle. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it was like he was on the TV 24/7. So I felt guilty for that. And I wanted to play with him and give him attention, but I couldn't. And then it's like any free spare moment that I had, it was like, okay, I can go play with Carter, which I want to do, but then I have all these bottles that need to be cleaned, or I have Beckham's laundry that needs to be done, or I haven't taken a shower in 4 days. You know what I mean? Like, there's just a constant, never-ending to-do list, and finding the balance between giving Carter the attention he needed versus doing things that also needed to be done versus taking care of a newborn baby. And you have to handle that all by yourself. Yeah. That's difficult. Honestly,
and look, I'm not even suggesting that I do the job of a mother, because in no way, shape, or form do I do that. But like, there are days when you spend like, now I can't think of a single time that you've left the house, but like there are times you leave. Yeah. And I'll
like when I go to the temple.
Yeah, and I'll be with the boys, and like, it's a great time, right? Like I don't hate that time. Like, I don't like not look forward. I actually look forward to it because I'm like, freak out, like boys night. You know what I mean? Like, it's super fun. At the end of it though, I'm exhausted. Like I am exhausted.
Especially with a newborn baby.
Especially. And like, even like nowadays, like Beckham is so independent, you know? It's like, if you're out of the house for longer than an hour, like my body feels it. Yeah. Like I'm truly exhausted. Yeah. So honestly, the biggest change was trying to like not have Carter feel left out or neglected, and just like physically, I guess, just like having to be like taking care of 2 needy kids. Yeah. You know what I mean? As opposed to just Carter.
Yeah. Also for me though, I feel like I obviously love kids at any stage, but like my heart belongs to the newborn stage. Like I love nothing more than just sitting on the couch and like snuggling my baby. Yeah. So it was like, I wanted to do that with Beckham, but everyone would always tell me like, if the baby's sleeping, you know, you can put them down so that you have time for Carter, which I agree with, but I'm like, I want to snuggle my baby. And I did. Like, I did a fair share of that. I feel like I did a good balance as best
Yeah.
I could, you know, but like I had that guilt where it was like, but
Yeah.
wait, I would way rather just like sit on the couch and snuggle this sweet little baby than like play trains or like build my 10th train track for today, you know?
I feel like with the third kid, it'll be pretty easy.
No, let's not even talk about that.
We'll have Carter and Beckham. They'll be like Beckham will be older, like slightly older. He's like a year and a half right now. Mm-hmm. Like, assuming that we have a kid the same time frame, Beckham will be 3.5, right?
About 3.5.
Yeah.
Carter will be like almost 7.
Yeah, which is crazy. But like, you're gonna have a basically 4-year-old and basically 7-year-old, right? Yeah. Or 7-year-old. He will be 7. Mm-hmm. Doesn't matter. They'll be able to play a lot better together. You know what I mean? So like, I mean,
you hope. That's
but
best case
I mean,
scenario.
they're young kids. Like they do get they'll probably fight a lot more, but like, I don't know. They play semi decently together right now. Like they enjoy each other. Like they get annoyed when they take each other's toys already. So I imagine that will be slightly like magnified. But like, I feel like you'll get a lot more of like the snuggle baby time with the third.
Yeah.
And it's almost a guarantee that we're gonna have another boy.
Which I'm totally down for.
I am incapable of making the girls.
We'll have one girl, maybe.
Maybe.
But I feel like 3 kids will really throw me.
If all goes to plan, we'll have 3 boys and 1 girl as the last.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we decided, so.
Although sometimes I change my mind. 4 boys just sounds so great.
Boys are the best.
I love little boys. You
cannot get better than little boys.
Yeah.
Especially a bunch of boys.
Yeah.
I mean, frick.
They just love me so much. And it's the best.
It is funny. It's not that they don't love me, but it is not even close. Not even particularly close. Which is so funny because, like, we went through a small time when Carter was, like, my little dude. You know?
But it was after Beckham.
Oh, yeah.
It was after Beckham, and I feel like it truly was because he got way more attention from you.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of like the nature of things.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that made my heart so sad.
It made me very happy.
I know, but like, talk about the guilt I feel, you know? I'm like, I'm just out here trying to do my best.
I didn't even care at the time,
and he jumped ship on me.
Yeah, because we're like, who do you want to put you down for bed tonight? And he'd be like, Dad. And
he would he'd never say Dad before.
He never did.
But like,
I felt so good.
I feel like Carter has this way, like, even when he does choose you for certain things, like, oh, do you want to go to the store with Dad or do you want to stay home with Mom? If he chooses Dad, he just looks at me.
It's like a pity.
It's not a pity, but he looks at me and he feels bad.
Yeah. Which is so funny because I had those same thoughts. I've told you plenty of times. Like, my dad would always play the joke, like, oh, let's leave. Hurry, get in the car, kids. Like, let's leave Mom, you know? I'd get pissed at my dad. Yeah. I'd be like, how freaking dare you?
Yeah.
Like,
Carter does
stop
that
right
to
now.
Me.
Yeah. And even, like, I'll tickle you sometimes, and Carter will come and beat me up.
Oh,
dude.
if I say Carter, get him. Off. He will go ham.
Yeah. It's so funny. I should really do a better job at teaching him that, like, I'm not hurting you as much as you might think. He probably thinks I'm hurting you because you hurt me. You hate it. Yeah. But yeah, he's a sweet kid. Yeah. Honestly though, to wrap all this up, I feel like the best part about the transition of being a parent is like truly knowing that, like, in my heart of hearts, like, those boys are like the best parts of us. Mm-hmm. Like, and I feel like it's so, people don't really say that very often because they feel like, you know, the popular thing to say, or the popular, like, thing now is like, oh, I lost myself and my kids, you know, I lost who I was and now I got to go find who I am, you know.
I genuinely feel the opposite.
100%.
I feel like I found who I was. I found my purpose. I feel so much more confident in, like, who I am because I pour, like, everything I have into my kids. Yeah. And that doesn't mean I don't take care of myself. It doesn't mean we don't take care of our relationship, but, like, kids are a lot of work and they take up a lot of time. And they just do take up a lot of who you are, you know? And I feel like I've never been happier. Yeah. And it's not as black and white as people make it out to be. No. Like, you have to either take care of yourself and then your kids, or you have to take care of yourself or take care of your kids and lose yourself. Mm-hmm. When it's really not the case. No. And I feel like it's seasonal. Honestly, like,
ebbs and flows in every
I don't
want to
get into, like, self-care too much, but, like, there's, like, seasons where you might need to take care of yourself a little bit more than others, And you'll be the only person that knows, you know, like I just recently started going to the temple once a month. And I feel like that's a really good thing for me right now because I'm like a full-time stay-at-home mom. Like I pour truly everything I have into my kids. Yeah. So taking time, a couple hours once a month is like really good for me. Yeah. When I was working, I don't feel like that would have been necessarily a great thing for me. Yeah. Because I didn't have as much time with Carter as I have with our kids now. So.
I would like to point out, though, that you don't go to the temple just for you, though.
Oh, no.
You go
it's
there,
not a self-care thing.
Yeah, it's a service.
But I do
like
love it.
In the church.
It makes me feel good, though.
Yeah, it is.
Partly because I'm serving. Partly because I get to go be with, like, other women who I'm friends with. Yeah. And partly because I get a little bit of time away. Yeah. But the intent, I feel like it would be so different. Like, you wouldn't enjoy it half as much if you went only for like the alone time, right? Yeah,
or
like if I went to a movie by myself once a month.
Yeah, like no, it's just not going to do you the same. Yeah. Anyway, this isn't a self-care podcast. I have literally so many thoughts on this. Remember when I told you I wanted to write a book on this? Yeah. I have like a bucket list of things I want to do in my life. Mm-hmm. I will write a book on this one day. Yeah. TBD.
Your outlook on parenting is really going to change how you really feel about it.
What do you mean?
I just mean if you're of the opinion that like your kids are taking up too much of your time and you pour too much of yourself into them and you've lost yourself, like of course you're going to feel that way. Of course that's the only thing you're going to see. But if you look at it as like who you are now because of your kids, you might see it in a different light. Yeah. And I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just me, but like I have zero regrets. Like at the end of the day, like the time that I spend with the kids, the time that I've like spent working for the family, right? Yeah. Like those are not times that I like regret. Yeah. You know, like obviously there are harder times than others. There are times that I enjoy it more than others, but like, I don't know. I feel like it's so hard to like look back and be like, oh yeah, like I wish I wouldn't have done that. Like how could you possibly say that? I've never once had the thought like, I wish I did more for myself today. Yeah. Just never.
That just isn't really a thing. Yeah. But like, honestly, like genuinely, like one of the best, like the happiest feelings that I get is like knowing that like our life is like completely devoted. And like, they're going to turn 18 one day, they're going to move out of the house, but like, it's still devoted to them. You know what I mean? And like, it'll just be in a different way at that time, you know? But like, they're genuinely the happiest part of my life, and I know that you feel the same way, so I feel like
besides me
like I know you feel the same way.
Yeah. And we do put a lot of time into our marriage as well. Yeah. Like our kids go to bed around 8:30 every night. Yeah, that's and we get to spend the rest of the time together. Yeah. And we go on date nights and stuff like that. So yeah, we do make time for each other, but like honestly during the day, when our kids are awake, 100% is them. Yeah. And like not even in a bad way. Nope. Like it's genuinely like it's just they're just the priority. Yeah, they are. So and great. I feel no regrets about it, nor will I let anyone make me feel bad about it because I love them. Yeah. And I want to be the best mom that I can be. I want them to like have the best childhood, have the best life. And I know that in turn they'll grow up to be great humans. Yeah. And that's the goal.
With that, I think we're going to wrap this one up. I wanted to thank Pit Boss for sponsoring today's episode. If you are in the market for a Pit Boss grill, smoker, if you've heard me and Christian talk about smoking, we didn't really get into it today, but me and Christian talk a lot about smoking. Actually, I guess we did talk a little bit about my 15-hour smoke. That was I'll go into that next week, but if you are in the market for a Pit Boss grill, if you hear us talk about it, if you're thinking about getting one, like I thought about getting one. This is so funny to have you sitting here next to me during this.
Let's talk about
Let's talk smokers. So
Can I say my favorite thing about the smoker?
Sure.
Because not that I didn't support you getting a smoker, I just didn't want to spend the money on it. Mm-hmm. But ladies.
Oh dear.
If your husband has a smoker, you don't have to cook dinner. That's it. That's the best part about us owning a smoker is that there are several nights a week where I don't have to cook dinner anymore. Yeah. I can say, Hey, babe, let's do burgers. Hey, babe, let's do pizza. Let's do...
And joke's on me because I have to do the work and I freaking love it.
Yeah.
I genuinely like... Have I ever said like, oh man, I gotta
No.
go do those burgers?
No,
I'm like
never.
stoked to get out there.
Mm-hmm.
Right now our backyard is like crawling with these like, what Christian call them? False cinch bugs or whatever. Seasonal pest. They're everywhere. I'm still out there. Like it's a great time.
With his shirt off.
Stop. That's such a lie. That's
No.
one time. I'm trying to tan.
My gosh.
I'm trying to tan.
No.
If you're in the market for a Pit Boss grill, make sure to check out pitboss-grills.com. There you'll find a very wide variety of smokers. Everybody's different. You could be smoking for yourself. You could be smoking for a family of 2, 3 like I am. I don't know why I said 2, 3. We have 2 kids and you. So 3, 4. We have a family of 4. Or maybe you just like to entertain, whatever it is that you are wanting a smoker for. Pitboss-grills.com will have a wide variety for you to choose from. Honestly, they're a great grill, and it's pretty affordable to get into. There are some really, really high-end, high-price smokers out on the market right now, and Pit Boss is a great way to get into it. Very user-friendly, super easy to learn, even for someone as unskilled as I.
And I will even probably jump on the smoker at some point.
At some point.
Probably not. But
I'll take a picture
maybe.
of it. I'll post it on the 480 show.
I could do it.
I think you could. I mean, honestly, you could. If I can do it, you could do it. Make sure to check out pitboss-grills.com to learn more. And again, thank you to Pit Boss for sponsoring today's episode. I think that's it.
Okay.
That's it for the episode. If you want to join the conversation, make sure to check us out on all of our social channels, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, at the 480 show, everywhere you go. If you wouldn't mind, take 2 minutes very quickly to leave us a 5-star review. Tell us your favorite part of the show. If you liked having Ashlyn on the show, please make sure to let us know.
I won't be back.
We will make a priority to have her reappear. If you want to hear Christian's wife on the show, make sure to let us know. We can make that happen as well, and we could make this a thing. But again, thank you for tuning in. Next week we'll go over all of the comments from this week's show that me and Christian got. We got a little bit political, and so there's quite a few comments that me and Christian will dive into that Ash did not want to get into tonight. So next week we will talk all of that stuff. Again, give us a follow at the 480 show pretty much everywhere you go, and please leave us a 5-star review. It does help out the show a lot more than you think. That's it. Until next week. This is when me and Christian say we'll see it. No, don't you dare. No, don't you dare say that.
Okay.
That's when we say we'll see ya.
We'll see
And
ya.
we just do the peace sign. Deuces.